Hi everyone, this is the English language lesson for the SPM Trial Examinations for the year 2020. And then here we have paper 1 and paper 2. I'm your teacher, Madam Gan. Today I'll be discussing the trial papers from Kelantan for the year 2020. Okay, this is the first paper, which is paper 1 or 1119/1. This is the writing paper, and then you have two questions, section A directed writing and section B continuous writing. We are looking at paper 1, which is the writing paper, and it is section B continuous writing, and then allotted marks 50 times suggested 1 hour. So there are 5 options. Write a composition of about 350 words on one of the following topics. So there are 5 topics. You are supposed to choose one. Okay, so let's look at the questions. Number 1, the influence of a great teacher can never be erased in our life. Describe the teacher who has left a great influence on you. So this is the description of a person. Question or topic 2, E-learning has become a good and practical platform for students to learn. How far do you agree? Okay, this is giving opinion. Topic 3, write a story about a girl who had a shocking experience during a family vacation. Begin your story with Julia was in jubilant mood when thinking about her upcoming school holidays. So this is a story or narration. Okay, topic 4, Malaysia has the highest rate of obesity among Asian countries. Why do you think many Malaysians are obese, and what can be done to solve this problem? So this is more on factual or health issues. Okay, then topic 5, describe your first outing after Movement Control Order MCO. Explain what you did. Okay, so the first outing, what you did and your feelings at that time. So there are 5 questions. So the possible ones that you can write are: number 1, okay, it is description of a teacher, which is quite easy. And then number 3 or topic 3, it is a narration of an experience. Maybe you can write car accident or fire at a resort. Okay, and the last one, number 5, it is on description of an event. So you can write maybe after the MCO, you can write a family picnic, a birthday party at the restaurant, or visit to your grandparents' house. References. For continuous writing, it is better to write description or narration. Okay, so description, normally there are 3 types of question: description of a person, description of a place, or description of event. And for narration, you can write similar contents. Okay, person, the questions are example, the person that you like, admire, person that you look up to, or a person that has a lasting impression on you, or it can be a strange person or a weird person. So it can be about your classmates too. Okay, place normally is a description of a town, hometown, or a vacation spot. And for event, there are 2 types of events: happy and sad. So happy, you can read more on maybe party, a picnic, a trip, a holiday, or a wedding. And for the sad event, there are examples like fire, flood, robbery, or accident. For topic 1, the influence of a great teacher can never be erased in our life. Describe the teacher who has left a great influence on you. So this is an essay for description of a person. You can even write a title, My Favorite Teacher. So let's look at the sample essay. Watching Mr. Lim get into his car is educational, and watching him get out of it is even more so. Mr. Lim, the teacher of my class 5 Form 5 Malawa, weighs more than 100 kg and his car is an old Mini. At first sight, one would think that it would be impossible for him to get in, but he does so with amazing agility and grace. No sooner does he get out of the car when we see a flock of happy school children running to greet him as if he were a film star. He will then make his entry into his classroom like a VIP on a visit. As he walks, he answers the various questions thrown at him from his young eager students from his present science class. When former students just happened to be around when Mr. Lim arrived, they could not resist running to him, greeting him with their warmest smiles. You could really sense that these former students miss him dearly. Mr. Lim is the oldest teacher in the school and has been teaching in my school since its founding in 1955. He has been teaching Form 5 for all these years and has taught thousands of students. Among the students he has taught are several top civil servants, 2 army generals, 2 cabinet ministers, and our school principal. In spite of all his achievements, what makes Mr. Lim my favorite teacher and a favorite teacher to many others too is the fact that he really cares. He cares about all of us equally. He does more than just teach us. He knows all his students and former students by name and delves into all our personal lives. He can tell with a look that we are unhappy about something. He will then take us aside and talk. He will get to the root of the problem, even seeing the principal or our parents if needs be. He will not stop until the problem, whatever it is solved, and he does it in all sincerity without expecting anything in return. Is there any wonder then that we all love him? Let's now look at topic 3. Write a story about a girl who had a shocking experience during a family vacation. Begin your story with Julia was in jubilant mood when thinking about her upcoming school holidays. So this is a sample essay. Julia was in jubilant mood when thinking about her upcoming school holidays. Days before the trip, she had started packing her stuff and checking items away on her what to bring list. Her parents had planned a trip to Kuala Lumpur from Ipoh. The journey, which took nearly 3 hours, did not bore Julia at all. She had her phone and tablet with her. Her father made a short stop to the washroom at one of the rest areas and they bought a light lunch of sandwiches and drinks. As they were entering Kuala Lumpur, Julia's father noticed a motorcyclist was following behind his car very closely. He was so impatient that he was trying to overtake the car even near a sharp bend. At that critical moment, there was an oncoming car. Julia's father managed to swerve to the roadside and she got a terrible jolt. It was too late for the motorcyclist to avoid the car. His motorcycle ran against the bumper of the car and smashed its windscreen. The motorcyclist somersaulted over the car and was found lying in a pool of blood. It was a scene to chill the flesh. Julia's father, who was cut by the flying glass, was in a state of shock. Her mother screamed and cried hysterically. All that happened in a split second and fear overwhelmed them. Julia's father stopped his car and Julia quickly ran to the nearest telephone booth to inform the police and the hospital. From a distance, she could see some people trying to help the injured motorcyclist and her father. They carried them into one of the onlookers' car and sent them to the hospital for treatment. The mother, who was still in a state of shock, was also ushered into the car. Julia followed them in another car. Meanwhile, a passerby tried to control and direct the traffic. Soon the police arrived and they promptly took some measurements and evidence. After that, they moved the damaged car and the motorcycle to the roadside to ease the traffic congestion. They also took down the evidence provided by witnesses and onlookers. After Julia's father received treatment at the hospital, he was allowed to leave. They had to go to the police station to lodge a report. Luckily, her father received help from the police. He gave a number of a reliable workshop and even asked his co-worker to bring them there. The bumper and the windscreen had to be replaced. They were told that it would take a day to complete the job. Julia's father was still in pain, so her mother persuaded him to rent a car to the hotel and that he had booked. When they finally continued the journey to Kuala Lumpur, Julia suddenly thanked God for their narrow escape. She learned a good lesson that impatience and recklessness would bring harm and danger. She was happy to see that Malaysians are public-spirited and they rendered help to others readily. For topic 5, describe your first outing after Movement Control Order, MCO. Explain what you did and your feelings at that time. So this is the sample essay. After the Movement Control Order, I woke up at the crack of dawn and headed for Ah Chong's house. We had agreed to meet Sean and Rahman, our classmates. It was a perfect day for a swim. Although we are all strong swimmers, my mother had cautioned me against the strong currents. We were cooped up for nearly a month, so I was more eager to see my friends and have fun with them to heed her warnings. Splash! I dived off the rock into the inviting river. The water was deep, but I was not worried. After all, I am an excellent swimmer and a certified lifeguard. I knew the waters in the area well, as I often swam there. I persuaded the rest of the boys to follow me up to a higher waterfall. We clambered up the boulders. "Let's jump!" an exhilarated Rahman shouted. The boys plunged in together, screaming in delight. Suddenly, Sean was tumbling out of control. The water smashed him over and over again. The current had smashed the other boys against a rock, and we managed to pull ourselves out from the raging water. At first, we could not see Sean. Then, as the waves subsided, we saw Sean's half-submerged figure face down. Rahman dived into the water immediately. He knew that every second counted. Swimming strongly, he got to Sean in no time. With Ah Chong's and my help, we managed to pull Sean out of the water and onto the rock. "Oh God, let him not be dead," Rahman pleaded. Sean looked so blue. The others stood paralyzed, not knowing what to do. I grabbed Sean's wrist, but I could not feel any pulse. I remembered what my swimming coach had told me. A drowning victim had to receive artificial breathing within 4 minutes or he would die. With my lifeguard training in my mind, I immediately drew Sean's head back and clamped my mouth over him. I began pumping breath into Sean's lung as Rahman compressed Sean's chest while keeping count. Suddenly, Sean gurgled and threw up. We continued breathing and pumping. "Keep going. One of us has to go for help. Chong, you are the fastest. Run home and get help. Quickly call for an ambulance." After 30 minutes and what seemed like a lifetime, Rahman felt something move against him. Sean's leg had jerked against him. He felt for a pulse. "Sean's breathing," Rahman cried. Just then we heard an ambulance. "You are going to be alright," he assured Sean. Within minutes, the paramedics had lifted him to the ambulance and headed for the nearby hospital. We also went along. At the hospital, we were so thankful that Sean was going to be alright and we had saved his life. Our mothers gave us a stern lecture. I felt bad and regretted not listening to my mother. We have reached the end of the lesson for today. Just now we did a lesson on continuous writing, and then we look at 3 model answers for 3 of the topics. Okay, that's all. Thank you, and do remember to subscribe to my channel. It is called Educator Omni Tube. So signing off, I'm Teacher Gan. Okay, bye bye.